Down from the heavens bearing the gift, it's Jometheus, and welcome back to Toradora drawing fan art that I'm going to be doing once again. Whew. Got some notes. I'm gonna keep them to the side. Yeah, some talking points. I know, it's fucking crazy, right? There's a lot. Not just because I figured last time I was drawing I didn't really keep talking the whole time. So first thing we're going to start out by doing is just kind of fixing up these little areas. Like his arms are a little bit too low there. Let's put them up here, because otherwise you got one that starts up here, one that starts down here. It's not going to work. So yeah, let's make that a little bit more proportionate. And then probably his elbow will be right there. So then by the time it gets down here, he's in the hands of his pockets, it kind of makes more sense. There we go. There we go. Looks a little bit better. And then I kind of rushed to finish the legs just because I wanted to finish the video, so redo that probably. Those pleats. Let's see. Yeah, it's about right there. So make that a little longer, which makes more sense anyway, because if he's got his hands in the coat pockets, kind of gives him a little bit of a... Alright, now he's behind her hair, and we can just erase a little bit of that. It's still visibly marked. Their big old hair. And that's why it's good to have two layers, because then you can see... Or is that? I can't really tell. No, her hair's right there, but his arm is like kind of right there. Okay. Okay. His chest is puffed out a little bit more. He's a little bit more angular. I think the design of the suit feels like that. Get this to make sense. I think I wanted to fix something on Taiga too, but I forget what it was, so maybe I will remember it. I haven't been drawing on this since last week when I recorded for the other one, so alright, get the shape of the shadow. And then that kind of gets you your idea of he's got his hand in his pocket. I kind of cheated a little bit. Well, maybe they designed it. I don't know. Maybe they designed it behind there. But either way. Alright, so there's that. And then I think I made these a little bit too slim. They're probably a bit more baggy. Just because it's a uniform. It's not a pair of chinos. Be a little bit baggier. Make that more. Yeah, widen that out a little bit. And then, yeah, these shoes are complete fucking like rushing to get done. Alright, let me update my brush size. Alright. Redo these. What does his shoes look like? Pretty standard. Okay, so like, wait, what is it? Yeah, so let's say like, let's say like that, and then the shoe kind of curves around with like a little bit of a block at the end there. So maybe a little bit too thin. I remember I used to draw pretty much just one type of shoe whenever I would draw, and it would be Chuck Taylor's Converse. It's because they were very interesting design, and that's just the kind of shoe that I like to give everybody. And it kind of bags up at the bottom there. Sags up at the bottom there a little bit.
And yeah.
Still a little flatter. Maybe I should have left it. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Kind of points a little, like that. And then flat, like that, but it goes up into an arc a little bit. Yeah, that looks kind of okay. And then from the front, very simple. Looks like just kind of a little bit misshapen of a blob. So you can see the shape of the toe kind of, but that's really about it. And then pant leg comes down around it. It kind of bags down a little, just like before. Is it kind of, yeah, it kind of has this weird flattened out effect right there. Okay, I guess let's do that. Add a bottom to it. There we go. That looks about workable. And then Taiga. What did I want to change about Taiga? I think I just wanted to kind of clean this up a little bit. So let's clean that up a little bit. What about the buttons? The buttons are kind of okay. Well, let's figure out that collar though. And then her tie is, or her ribbon or whatever, tied like that. Okay, so we'll do our one line, 2 lines down, and then it's kind of tied like a, yeah, just standard bow, standard knot. So we got our knot in the middle, get a big loop out to the side on one side, and then on the other. It comes down on the bottom. Very basic ribbon, but effective. Alright, and then let's kind of clean up on the arms area a little bit. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have her arms sticking out a little bit more because her elbow looks a little bit too shoved in there. So let's stick her elbow out a little, just a little bit more, so she doesn't look quite so stiff or uncomfortable. And her shoulders up a little bit, sticking out a little bit, so that her arm kind of has a little bit more room. So let's do that. See how that feels. Might be a little too much. Overcorrected. Work our way back. And flatten that down a little. Okay. Let's get some detail on that hand there. Does that leg look weird? A little bit. Let's match that. Let's move that down a little. So her socks seem to be about the same height. Legs seem okay. Yeah, seems about okay other than that. Oh, and then, okay, so didn't see that behind there. So that means it's coming down a little bit more in the back. Right? Am I seeing that right? Yeah, it's coming down a little bit more in the back. Did not see that before. There, you can see it going all the way around the legs then. It's just because it's blocked by the logo, you can't really see it. That's a different angle, so it's not going to show you. Okay. And I feel like I'm losing a little bit of the attitude with the eyes and the way that I draw them in my style, so I'm just going to get rid of this a little bit. I'm going to fix both of their eyes, have them looking at the correct thing. Because I think she's sort of looking towards the camera a little bit, like giving you the side eye a little. Soften that up on the edge a little bit. Let's just round her up there. Give her that eye shape. And then, yeah, it's just kind of 3/4 in like that. Kind of giving you the side eye. Alright, so there's that. You can still, you gotta fix the pupil location then. If that's the case, have our pupils about right there. I can still kind of do them in my style. There we go. Alright. Yeah, it looks a little bit more Taiga-like already. How's her face? Let's see. This might look weird. We're gonna give it a shot. Dip her other eye down just a little bit. Comes down. No, yeah, that actually looks better. So do that. Fix her hair up right there. We'll still do the eyelashes coming out. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Get the buttons up on here. Do your buttons. Oh yeah, and the fingers. Alright, so hands. Everybody's favorite thing to draw. Do like that. Okay, and then thumbs. How's her thumbs? Sometimes it helps to just like kind of think about it. How would your thing? Her pinky's coming up a little bit, so we'll do that. Fingers are a little bit thicker than I would have thought. Yeah, thumbs just coming over like that. Get her pinky up there a little bit more.
And, well, kind of thicken those fingers a little bit. And down.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get that extra one right there, so we'll get rid of that. And her hand. We'll give her her thumb. And yeah, that looks about okay. Maybe because this one is in the front a little bit more, we'll shape it out more like that. Do. Give her. Not sure, just it might be just because of the shading on there, so let's kind of get rid of that just to see if the shape looks right there. Yeah, that's about Oh. No, yeah, that looks about right. And get rid of some of the underpinning of the original sketch. So we're not going to see that once we're up and going. Alright, so then we just got to add in that little notch there. And it should actually look okay, so do that. Got that up. Yeah, notch that out. And there we go. That looks good. That looks good. Alright. Alright, this is going to be one of my more favorite parts. I'm going to start the coloring. I like to use, geez, I haven't played, oh man, standard paintbrush. Where's my special, let's see, synthetic brush, coarse brush. What am I looking for? Looking for my flat brush. No, is this that pack? Sorry, it might take me a little bit. It's been a little bit of a minute it's been a minute since I used this. That'll work. That should work. Let's give that a shot. Give that a shot. And let's see. I haven't consulted my talking points. Let's see, what was I going to talk about? Alright, so some things that I love about this show. Alright, so some characters. I talked briefly about Ryuji and Taiga last episode. I just want to say for a minute, I love Ryuji. Such a fucking cool guy. Like, everybody thinks that shit about him, but he helps out his mom. He doesn't want to go to college because his mom works all the time, and he doesn't want to put too much pressure on her, and so he's willing to sacrifice his own well-being for his mom. With Taiga, she comes into his house with a sword and she's trying to kill him, so he gets freaked out for a minute, but she passes out. He makes her some food and gives her fucking relationship advice. Like, what kind of cool fucking guy is that? Like, he not only, yeah, it curves down a little bit, so we'll fix that like that. Yeah, okay, so not only she's coming at him like trying to kill him, and he's not only like, yeah, I'll give you some food. He's like, oh yeah, it's fine. I get what you're coming from. I get what you're saying. Like, you're fine. You're cool. Even though you just tried to kill me, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It happens. What a fucking cool guy. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, like Kawashima. I didn't really talk about any of the side characters. I want to kind of talk about the side characters a little bit today. Kawashima. So she is a character that comes in a little bit later in the season. She is a model, and she's an old friend of her crush, Kitamura, the guy that they're trying to hook her up with throughout the show. And she's super fake at first. Like, I did not like her my first watch through because I didn't really get her. Because she's super fake and she never says what she means. And she's very, I don't know, she's just very fake. You know, nobody really likes that. Like, she'll act like she's super airheaded and innocent, when in reality she's pretty intelligent, and she's kind of mean. And after Kitamura tells him how she really is, or he sees it happen, he doesn't really like her, but even so, because his good friend Kitamura asked him to, he helps her out. They are friends with her, and he kind of calls her out a little bit on being fake. She's got this stalker. That's the whole reason that she had to switch to their school in the first place, is because she's got this stalker, and she tried to move and he followed her, and it's a whole mess. And Kitamura's just like, yeah, you can come to my house if you don't feel safe. It's fine. And she doesn't. She end up going to Taiga's house because she's got a bigger, more spacious luxury apartment. And Taiga's like, I was able to break into his house pretty easily, so I don't think that you're probably going to be better off at my place. And so yeah, she goes over to her place. But anyway, yeah, he helps her out with that. He kind of calls her out. She makes her realize it's like, putting on this fake act is not really helping you out with anybody. I don't understand why you do that. And she kind of stops being fake and starts being herself. Gets rid of the stalker, scares the shit out of him, breaks his camera, and then she starts being herself more at school, and everybody kind of likes her more, and likes her for her. And so yeah, I mean, he's just a really cool dude. He does all kinds of little shit for everybody throughout the series. He's always taking care of Taiga. He's always looking out for people. He kind of sacrifices that he might get to spend time with Minori, his crush, later in the show to make Taiga feel better on Christmas. It's very cute. And yeah, he's a very selfless, self-sacrificing dude. And you gotta love him. Gotta love him. Okay. Taiga. She is fearless. She comes off as mean, but she's got a reasoning behind it. She's very much on her own. Literally, she lives by herself, even though she's a teenager. Her dad is kind of a piece of shit. They come from money, so she's kind of rich, but the only interaction she really has with her dad is he deposits money into her account like every month, because he got remarried, and it came down to a thing where she started arguing with the stepmom, and it was one of those situations where it's like it's either she goes or I go. And so the dad was like, all right, I'll get you your own apartment and you can live on your own, which is fucked up. So yeah, she's kind of got a chip on her shoulder about that. She's kind of got a little bit of some kind of abandonment issues, which is another reason why Ryuji's so good for her. He's always there kind of taking care of her. Because she didn't really have that growing up. And kind of lashed out at people because of it. Let's see. What else would we talk about? Oh yeah. And what's crazy about it is I was saying that she's fearless. The whole plot of the show is like the conflict I was saying is all centered around like, oh, she's too shy to talk to Kitamura. But here's the thing about it is like she messed it up, but she was going to put the note in the locker, and by like the third episode, she goes out and actually it has the confidence to like tell him her feelings, and she gets rejected by him, but and it doesn't stop her. Like, Ryuji comes up behind her, he's like, yeah, I mean, I shouldn't let it get you down and all this stuff, and she is just immediately kind of picks back up, and she's like, all right, well, this didn't work, but I'm not gonna give up just because he said no once. So yeah, they keep at it, and she's fearless. She's very good in that way. Okay. Who else are we talking about? Oh yeah, we could talk about Minori. That's Taiga's best friend. She is one of the more interesting characters in the series. She's very weird, very oddball. She does a lot of strange things. She's very bright and bubbly and charismatic, and that's why, kind of why Ryuji loves her. But she also has a lot of inner turmoil. It kind of, you figure out later on in the show that she only acts that way. Very fight and very what was I saying? She kind of only acts very can-do attitude and whatnot because she's actually very afraid, and she has to kind of psych herself up to go through things. Like, she doubts herself a lot, and she kind of is afraid of things, so it causes some issues later on in the series because some things kind of happen where it's like you kind of figure out that she liked Ryuji all along. Like, big twist, she actually liked Ryuji all along. And yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like Kitamura liked Taiga all along, and Minori liked Ryuji all along, so they were on a set path to actually get hooked up. And just fate kind of intervened. But she saw how Taiga was with him, and she in her head was like, well, I mean, I don't want to kind of mess things up between him and Taiga. I don't want to mess things up for Taiga. That's my best friend. And so she kind of denies herself that connection with him because she would rather see Taiga happy. It's very selfless, but also causes some issues because that's all the whole thing is. They're trying to hook each other up with the best friend. Minori's blocking it out because she doesn't want to hurt Taiga. Kawashima was talking about her briefly. After she becomes more true to herself, more open and honest, she starts becoming more honest with herself. She gets annoyed that other people aren't, because she sees how happy it's made her to be open and honest with people, and everything kind of just works out a little easier that way. And when she sees that these people that told her to do that are being kind of hypocritical, and they're not really doing it themselves, it kind of makes her mad, which is understandable. Because it's like, how are you gonna tell me to be this way, to act one way, and you're gonna act another way? Like, that's not cool. Yeah, she's like, how are you telling me to be honest and true with myself, and then you guys are gonna be running around telling each other lies, making up plans, and keeping secrets and shit like that. Like, that's hypocritical, and I don't like that shit. And she gets into a couple of big arguments with Minori out of it because nobody's being honest with each other. Like, Minori likes him, but she's keeping it to herself. Ryuji and Taiga have all this plot going in the background that she doesn't really appreciate. Let's see. The colors, yeah, it's got the colors a little better, so let's go for that. That's her base color. And we'll do, because I color my eyes a little different, we're going to put that on the bottom. That's how I do my eyes. And then I'll use this other, yeah, now it's got a little gray, a little murky. It's a little bit muted in general. Maybe I'll, shit, alright, so maybe I gotta go over that. Alright, so we'll go for this lighter color, this kind of pink almost, and that'll be up on top. Because I kind of like to have the lighter value, the darker value, and then kind of blend them together along the sides and the middle. Alright, that's good. Okay. Yeah, definitely kind of more pastel. And Ryuji be real quick. Honestly, I can probably just like make that brush a bit bigger and go in here, make a new layer. This is gonna be Ryuji's color. Fill that in. And he's behind her, so let's put it behind her so that he's not gonna pop out in front of her. Kitamura. That's Taiga's crush. That's Ryuji's best friend. He's not necessarily a bad character, but I feel like he's just kind of got the most wasted character arc in the whole show, because everybody else kind of has a little bit more going on. The most that you really figure out about Kitamura as the show goes on, the reason that he was in student council in the first place in the whole show is because he fell in love with this girl who became the class president. She was like, hey, you should join student council. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And so fucking for 4 years of his high school career, he followed this girl just because he was in love with her. And when she moves, because she's getting ready to graduate, and when she graduates, she's going to America, so she's leaving the country. So he's kind of panicking. He's like, I don't know what the fuck to do, because this girl, I thought that when she got out of student council, then we could be together, but I can't do it now. And he fucking quits the student council, and he dyes his hair blonde, like platinum blonde, and he runs away from home, and all because this girl that he never told that he loved is moving away. He's kind of like, fuck, I wasted my whole entire high school career chasing after this girl, and she doesn't even know, and she's moving away, and fuck, what did I do with my life? I don't want to be the class president. I'm probably going to be the next class president, but I don't want to be that because the only reason I wasn't in the first place was because of her. And it's just like, oh, come on, dude. Like, you kind of did that shit to yourself. And get this. It's a little bit frustrating. You know how I was saying that the whole thing of the show is they're trying to get them hook up together, and trying to hook up Ryuji with Minori. They're trying to hook up Taiga with Kitamura. Well, Kitamura liked Taiga first. He asked her out, like, before the show, any of the events of the show or anything even started. She was so caught off guard by it because he's got this huge bombastic personality, so that the way that he did it, she describes it, threw her off so much that she said no. But after that, she kind of started noticing him more, and she kind of fell in love with him. So what really irritates me about it, though, is she asked him, he said, we can probably just kind of be friends, which is like, okay, I mean, he moved on, so that's kind of understandable. It's like, he asked, she said no, he was heartbroken, so he got approached by the student council, and he joined the student council, and he fell in love with this other girl, and all that shit. It's like, okay, that's understandable, that's his thing. But you can't do that and also still like her, because there's so much shit throughout this series where it's like, he leads her on. Like, he said, no, I'm not going to be with you, and he's lusting after this other girl, and then at the same time, let's see, you got that stray hair strand, stick that on top, and fix that up a little bit. Angle it more, and yeah, that pretty much looks good. Pretty much. Maybe his eyes are a little too close together. I don't know. I think actually they can probably be even a little bit more up, so, or more angled, I should say. Well, let's do that. Let's angle them a bit more. And then you can color that in. And I don't think his eyebrows are blue, but whatever. Whatsoever. And yeah, this is running a little long, so I think I'm just gonna color this in and call that a day. Call that a day. Get his shoes. There's this theme throughout the entire show that, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in the next episode, because this is probably just about to finish right now. But yeah, he's very annoying because he's leading Taiga on. It's like, dude, you know you're lusting after this other girl. Why are you, like, flirting back with her and doing all this shit that you know is gonna get her bothered and shit? And then by the end of the series, after she moves away and he's confessed his love to her, and oh, okay, here, I got a little bit more to talk about, so I'll just finish after I finish talking about this. So he's got a little bit more. Pisses me off. Yeah, let's just start working my eyes how I do. So he confesses to the girl. She breaks his heart. Taiga. This is another reason Taiga's such a fucking badass. Taiga's in love with him. But what she ends up doing is she goes to fucking defend his honor. She takes her wooden sword and goes to fucking fight this girl because she broke his heart. And she's like, that's not fucking cool. Like, you're not gonna do that to him. And so yeah, like she gets into like a fist fight with her, or like a, well, yeah, it starts off like a, just they're fighting with like swords and shit, but which sounds fucking crazy for just high school drama. But yeah, she starts out, they're just like fighting with these fake swords, and then they end up like fighting with their fists. So she's beating the shit out of her. Why do I feel like she's got more kind of like honey eyes? Let's go a little more brown with those brown tones. Yeah, because I feel like kind of missing a little bit of that. Muddy it in. Well, yeah, I mean, so they end up kind of actually dating by the end of the show. Spoilers, so I'm already spoiled more shit than that. Alright, let's try and add some shine to that. Does that look okay? Yeah, it looks okay. I'm probably going to fix that a little later. But yeah, they actually kind of end up dating by the end of the show. But then, like, shit happens and she realizes that she's actually in love with Ryuji. And what's Kitamura's reaction to it's like, oh, well, now I lost this girl. Nothing. He doesn't fucking care. Like, Minori has, like, one of the saddest fucking endings in the whole show. Just because she's, like, torn up. She's like, you know, I do love him, but I told him a little too late, and now, you know, it's like he's with Taiga. He should be with Taiga because they make each other happy, and it's this super bittersweet ending. Kitamura is just like, I don't give a fuck. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what is happening with your life? And oh yeah, let me fix his eyes right quick, and then I'll just end that up for today. He's got kind of, what color eyes does he have? He's got like just gray, right? Just, yeah, kind of like a, maybe like almost a blue. Well, let's do this, because I mean they're dots anyway. It's not gonna make too much of a difference. So let's do this. Let's darken that a little bit, and we'll make that his eyes. And we'll color it in. We'll put it on his layer. So I'm looking down at Taiga. And open those eyes up a little bit. And we'll call that it for today. Alright, so we got a decent kind of rough start on rough coloring. We fixed up the sketch a little bit and should be good for today. thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for joining me again on another one of these. Probably do like maybe one or two more of these. Probably get into the actual full-on coloring and shading aspect of it. Fix those eyes up a little bit, because I'm still not crazy about the way that Taiga's eyes turned out, and that's another big part of her character. I might end up drawing the rings around it if that's seems like a big important part of her character, so I'll do that. And yeah, so I'll catch you next week, and hopefully we'll make some good progress, if not finish the whole thing. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much, and I love you. Goodbye.